Well, hello everyone and happy Thursday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I take you through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Wherever you're watching Before the Four today, whether that's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, as always, I gotta thank you for watching and spending just a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. Now, let's begin in Limestone County, where a former youth softball coach convicted of sex crimes was sentenced to life in prison today. Bradley Loggins faces over 200 years, sentenced to face the maximum penalty of all 7 counts. Loggins was convicted in December on 5 counts of sexual abuse to children under the age of 12. 1 count of first-degree sodomy and 1 count of sex abuse by force. The convictions came over 5 years after he was arrested. 5 of the victims, now all adults, were in court today. 4 of them gave statements of the lifelong trauma they will have, calling Loggins a monster as they fought back tears. Loggins was given a chance to speak on his own behalf before being sentenced, but he refused. And 48's Noah Cowell will have more on the sentencing coming up in our evening newscast. But now let's take a look at how the weather might shape up heading into the weekend. The Mardi Gras parade, it's coming to downtown Huntsville this Saturday. And maybe you want to get out and enjoy it, especially if the weather holds up. But let's turn it over to 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis for a look at what to expect this weekend. Brad?
Well, we got quiet weather as we coast into the weekend. 64 Saturday, 52 Sunday. We've got another front coming in. I think this one's definitely going to be colder than what we just had. Today, we pretty much overachieved. It's been pretty nice out there. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to get close to 70 again tomorrow. 67 right now on the Parkway. A little breezy. We knew it would be breezy. And we've got the 70-degree weather we had yesterday and close to 80. That's farther south, down along the Gulf Coast. And as we look north, no significant cold air, at least coming in the next 24 hours. But it's going to be this area up here to the north that's going to be dropping to the south as we go on into your Sunday. And that'll happen probably early Sunday morning. In fact, maybe Saturday night, as we may start the morning at or below freezing Sunday and Monday morning. Right now, we've got a clear sky. It's turned out pretty nice. It will be chilly out there tonight for your evening plans. Rain chances just not going to happen until we get late Tuesday. That's Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And we're outlook for the possibility of severe weather. The primary concern here is going to be damaging winds and very heavy rain, but there will be the potential for embedded tornadoes just due to the amount of wind shear we have. Again, this is Tuesday night into Wednesday. This is next week. There's no reason to be sweating this out yet and having that storm anxiety. I know a lot of you do, though. But we bring that to your attention because the cat is already out of the bag, so to speak. The Storm Prediction Center put that out today, and it's been blowing up on social media, as things like that usually do. Here's a look at the forecast right now. This will change, and what we're watching is the change in the timing and the strength. And right now, given this, it looks like after midnight, this will move in, again, Wednesday, very early Wednesday morning, and should be gone before the morning commute, but there could be damage out there. The next thing you're going to hear on social media is the chance of snow behind this. I just don't see that being a big issue right now. Maybe a flurry or two, but I just don't see the cold air rushing in as fast as it needs to. But we'll give that time to watch as well. We see 70 tomorrow, 64 Saturday, 52 Sunday, 70s next week ahead of the storm.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you, Brad. Now, yesterday, a Madison County judge dismissed the murder case of Terrell Bradford. Bradford had been accused of shooting and killing 23-year-old Rashana Brooks back in 2021. Yesterday, the judge let him off, and he is now a free man after serving 4 years inside the Madison County Jail. 48's Faith Delp got the chance to speak with Bradford for his reaction to yesterday's decision. Take a listen.
It's good. God is good.
Bradford thanked God as he walked out of the court with all charges dropped. He had been in the Madison County Jail since being accused of shooting and killing Rashana Brooks in 2021. The state and the defense both rested their case before the judge granted the motion for an acquittal due to lack of evidence presented.
Cases change as they get tried and things happen, and you know we're just relieved and we're very happy for our client.
Bradford's attorneys successfully argued during jury selection that an interview done by Huntsville investigator Julian Johnson should not be used as evidence since Johnson was untrustworthy. Bradford's attorneys say it was an emotional ending to a long legal fight.
I don't think anyone expects a motion for a judgment of acquittal to be granted. This is a unique occurrence that almost never happens.
Now moving over to Decatur with another story in case you missed it. Yesterday, Decatur police announced their new interim police chief. This comes after the former police chief stepped down after growing pressure from many in the community. 48's Callie Neese reports.
It is Carlisle's the newly named interim chief of police here in Decatur. He has a long history in law enforcement and even served as the interim chief of police in Decatur here before.
We didn't know if anyone would want to be here in Decatur, but they do. And we think that we've got the best of the three. We know we do.
Mayor Tab Bowling says the city is lucky to have interim chief Carlisle. He says Carlisle has been with Decatur Police for 26 years on and off. Carlisle retired from Decatur Police Department around 2017, became the chief of police at Alabama A&M University. After about 4 years of service there, he was fired, but it's unclear why. He has most recently worked as a school resource officer, again with Decatur Police Department. Now he's stepping into the role Todd Pinion recently announced he would be stepping away from. Many community members and even city council members have been calling for Pinion to step down after the police shooting death of Steve Perkins. Now that Carlisle is taking his role as chief, he says he needs to earn the trust of the public back.
Law enforcement is more than just enforcing the law. It is about building trust, fostering relationships, and ensuring the safety and well-being of every individual in our city. My vision for this department is one of transparency, accountability, and collaboration.
Pinion will be transitioning into a role as a captain here at DPD. Carlisle says that the two have no ill will against each other, and he looks forward to working with Pinion. Reporting in Decatur, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Well, Huntsville drivers, listen up. The city's new loud noise ordinance will go into effect this Saturday, March 1st. Huntsville police say the change will crack down on people who modify their cars to be louder than normal. The ordinance was approved after complaints from several residents. And 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy has all the details.
Starting on March 1st, Huntsville police will be cracking down on the owners of loud vehicles.
Yeah, it's going to be vehicles that are like have glass packs where it sounds like gunshots are going off in a neighborhood. It's going to be the ones, like I said, where you can hear it well before you can see it, the ones that drone on for miles on end. It's not necessarily going to be for that person that's being respectful with their sports car.
Under this new ordinance, people who are pulled over the first time for having a loud vehicle will receive an order to fix the car. Fines will be issued for further violations. A Decatur resident who visits Huntsville says she doesn't like the new ordinance.
I don't, what if I want to go eat dinner one night, in Huntsville, and, I don't want to take the chance of getting a ticket just because I wanted to bring my family, in my Durango or my friends, and so I may have to, think twice before I go to Huntsville.
Tiana McGee lives in 5 Points and says she often hears vehicles with loud engine noises pass up and down her street at night. McGee is currently a student and says these vehicles affect her ability to study in her own home.
And it's been very difficult to even focus, to try to study. I've even went as far as to purchase headphones to try to drown out the noises. I've been going outside of my normal schedule to try to avoid this. It does seem difficult, I think, because the street is naturally a busy street, which is fine in the daytime and the evening. It's just the nighttime is the part that I'm concerned about because it used to not be that way.
McGee tells me she even purchased a security camera to figure out where all those loud noises are coming from every night. McGee hopes the new ordinance will finally allow for her to have some peace and quiet.
I'm keeping in mind the fact that there's children there. There are older adults there. There are elderly people there that may live alone, and I really don't think they deserve this. Like, we used to be a very peaceful neighborhood, and lately it's become a disturbance. For me, it's become a disturbance and a harassment sort of thing, a continual harassment sort of thing.
Well, staying in Huntsville, 2 city school board members are taking their concerns over federal policy changes in schools to social media. 48's Nick Ballinger has the details.
Over 1,000 hateful comments and DMs like these have been popping up on Andrea Alvarez's Facebook page. It started with a post from the Huntsville City School Board member denouncing parents for taking advantage of the state's Choose Act.
So yes, it does ruffle feathers. A lot of them are not from people around here.
The state bill passed in 2024 giving up to $7,000 in state funding for families to put towards private or homeschooling.
Why didn't they give that to the schools in the first place? I'm happy for parents who can go and do whatever is important and great for their children. But we have other kids in this community that need strong parents in these schools as well. You're leaving the rest of the community behind because you do have the privilege to do that.
Her fellow board member, Ryan Renaud, also took his opinion on federal funding to social media, calling out Congressman Dale Strong for supporting the dismantling of the Department of Education, saying if lawmakers had a plan to redistribute funds to states, then he would be more than happy to apologize to Strong. He ended up posting that apology after members from Strong's office met with the school board.
Congressman Strong's team was kind enough to give us a very prompt response and reassure us that while the Department of Education they anticipate will be dissolved under this federal administration, federal agencies and departments would still maintain oversight and distributions of these federal education dollars.
The Huntsville City School District has doubled the state average when it comes to students who rely on Title I and IDEA funding from the Department of Education, programs that help special education students, which Renaud once secured. Renaud says if Strong and other lawmakers don't keep that promise, millions would be lost for public schools in Alabama.
If the current funding mechanism and algorithm doesn't maintain, we would stand to lose hundreds of millions in the state of Alabama.
Well, now coming up after the break, we'll be remembering 2-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman, who was tragically found dead this morning. From the Tanner Rattlers to the big leagues, the legacy of Gary Reedus, that's coming up as well, and some exciting news for Braves baseball fans here in North Alabama. It's all ahead. I'll see you all in 1 minute. Well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now some sad news from Hollywood. 2-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy were found dead in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. NBC's Stephanie Gosk with more.
The Diamond.
This morning, authorities investigating the death of a Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman found dead Wednesday alongside his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe. Police say the couple, who married in 1991, were found with their dog after a neighbor called police to do a welfare check. Authorities say there is no immediate indication of foul play in the deaths, but they did not provide a cause of death or say when the couple might have died. The 2-time Oscar winner always showing grit, intellect, and intensity on the screen. Hackman had the uncanny ability to vanish into any role.
And the problem is?
From tough as nails good cop Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, which earned him his first Oscar.
I'm gonna get him.
To Lex Luthor opposite Christopher Reeve in Superman.
Mind over muscle.
And after that, a remarkable run of iconic roles in dozens of films, winning over audiences with movies like Hoosiers and Crimson Tide.
Mr. Hunter, I've made a decision. I'm captain of this boat. You're relieved of your position.
And critics with a second Oscar win with Unforgiven.
He's got one barrel left.
He kept working even after heart surgery in 1990, turning to mostly comedic roles. It was against the law. Until his retirement in the early 2000s. Hackman and his wife moving to Santa Fe. He continued to work as a novelist, publishing his 5th book in 2013. Though the two were occasionally spotted together, Hackman largely preferred to stay out of the public eye in recent years, while audiences remember him through a remarkable on-screen career. Now police investigating the screen legend's death.
Well, all right, Atlanta Braves baseball fans, today is the day. Catch the Braves take on the Washington Nationals in their spring training game starting at 5:05 tonight on our digital channel 48.3 or Tennessee Valley Sports Network. Tonight's game is just the start as 9 more spring training games will be aired on 48.3 all before MLB opening day. But some very exciting news there. But speaking of exciting things and speaking of America's favorite pastime, here's a truly incredible story from 48's Cam Durr on Athens native and former Major League Baseball player Gary Reedus. Take a look.
The diamond here at Tanner High School looks a little different from the last time Gary Reedus stood in the box. But it was right here where an underestimated high school baseball player proved to be one of the greatest athletes to ever come from the Valley.
A drive hit into deep left field. This might go. Goodbye. A grand slam for Reedus.
Around here, you play for more than yourself and your family because you're playing for the community, you're playing for the school, and it makes a difference when you're a local kid. You know, they're proud of you, so you try to make them proud.
Gary Reedus, a native of Athens, Alabama, was a 4-sport athlete for the Tanner Rattlers. But baseball was where his heart was. It landed him a spot on the Calhoun Community College team, where he turned heads of professional scouts for the Boston Red Sox early. But Reedus had other plans.
I signed, but I didn't sign because I went played in the Cape Cod League, which is pretty big. And I got drafted in the 18th round. And I go up there, and Boston's right there by the Cape Cod. They came to see me play, and they didn't want to give me any money. I said, okay, I'll go back to school.
And after excelling in the Cape Cod League and Athens State University, the 1978 MLB draft rolled around.
Draft day came, and I'm watching the draft, and I'm watching all these guys I played against getting drafted, and I'm not getting drafted. And I'm mad. I'm getting madder and madder and madder. So I get drafted in the 15th round. And I didn't care then because I knew I was better than that. And they said, well, we'll give you some money. I said, I don't care. I don't want any money. I don't want to play.
Of course, Reedus did go on to have a professional career, landing with the Cincinnati Reds. But it was a decision that all came down to one conversation with his mother.
And I was adamant about it. I said, I am not going to play. And the guy said, oh, you want to sign? I said, no, I'm not. I said, you can leave. And my mom said, go ahead. You want to play baseball. So I was going to give it a 1-year try.
Well, mother knew best. That rookie season, Reedus set an all-time professional baseball record, hitting .462 at the plate. That still stands to this day. And after 5 seasons in the minors, Gary Reedus got the call to the big leagues.
Gets hit deep, way back. Deep to left field. It's got a chance to go. Reedus, a grand slam. The White Sox win it 10-8. The Chicago White Sox have come from behind with a 6-run bottom of the 9th inning. Gary Reedus with his second grand slam home run this week.
Surprise, never been to Chicago. It was different. Got traded to Pittsburgh from Chicago, and it was the best 5 years of my life. I mean, we had good teams. I played with Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke, Doug Drebeck, a host of just great guys.
But even with a lineup stacked with talent from top to bottom, from the 1990 to 1992 season, the Pirates fell short of the World Series.
We got our heart broken 3 straight years.
First, it was his former affiliation from Cincinnati, then the Braves, but that 1992 season was the closest that Ritas and the Pirates would ever come to a National League Division title.
It was 3-3, 3 games apiece. We're in Atlanta. We're up in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, and it was heartbreak from there. They scored the winning run and beat us, and that was probably the most. I know how guys feel when they lose a big game. That was tough.
Gary Ritas retired from his professional career after 12 seasons. He then poured his passion and love for the game into developing young players, teaching them the one lesson that was at the core of his success.
And I'd ask the guys, "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good." "You fastest?" "Yeah, I'm good." "Prove it tonight." And that always stuck with me. I'm always in the prove it mode. Okay, you think I can't do it? I'll prove it.
It's no doubt that Gary Ritas proved to everyone that he was a force in the game. Not quite yet a Hall of Famer, but that bat from his extraordinary rookie season still sits in Cooperstown, New York for everyone to see. Reporting in Tanner, Cam Durr, 48 Sports, on your side.
Gary Ritas, everyone, what an incredible story he has. But now let's turn over to the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. Following up on a story 48 Savannah Sapp first brought you 1 year ago on unclaimed bodies in Marshall County. Get those details coming up. Get the latest sports news in the ongoing state basketball tournament. 48's Cam Durr will have all of the high school hoops coming up. And the first Hanceville City Council meeting since last week's story, we brought you on the arrest of 5 police officers, causing the police department to shut down entirely. 48's Nick Ballinger will have the complete recap of everything that happened tonight at 10. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And now it is time, you all know the drill, it is time for Facebook Fun. That is right, and we are continuing the same question we had yesterday because there were so many amazing comments on our 48 Facebook question of the day. I had to shout out some more. It was so hard to just choose 5 yesterday, so I said I was just going to choose another 5 today. So, if you could live anywhere in the world for a year, just 1 year, where would it be? And let's see what you all said. Terry Dawson said Guitar Center. Hey, that would not be the worst place to live, I don't think, for a year. You can noodle, you can play some tabs, you can play chords. Yeah, no matter what you do, you will always have a guitar nearby, that is for sure. Terry, thank you so much for commenting. Brittany said anywhere in the Scottish Highlands. I've heard it is beautiful out there. I know the food is good out there. Yeah, I'm going to take your word on that, Brittany. I think I want to visit. I'm not quite sure if I want to live there for a year, but why not? Why not? Thank you for commenting. Dorothy said, I'll stick with Sweet Home Alabama. Thank you very much. Gotta love it. The Yellow Hammer, nothing wrong with it. 100%, Dorothy. Alex said, having lived in 3 countries and visited many more, I would say that Southwest Wales is gorgeous in the summer and the south of France also. So Southwest Wales or South France. Yeah, I heard both of those places are gorgeous as well. I have never been to Europe, but I would love to make my way out there before the end of the day, that is for sure. And then Holly Woods said California, and I wonder where in California Holly Woods would want to live for a year. Is it the Bay Area? Is it Southern California? Maybe it's even Hollywood. Hollywoods to Hollywood. 100%. Holly, thank you so much for commenting. And everyone who commented on the 48 Facebook question of the day, thank you so much. It always makes my day seeing y'all's comments, that is for sure. Well, that is it for today's Before the Four. It's just about all the time I have, but I want to thank you all for watching and spending a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. Quick, if you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 digital app, the 48 First Alert Weather app, and the 48 Sports Zone app. Turn on those push notifications and you will never miss a breaking news story, especially with the state finals, the state basketball finals going on. You're definitely going to want that Sports Zone app this weekend. And then, as Brad mentioned, the severe weather that could be moving in next week, definitely going to want to have that on hand. But again, thank you so much. That is all the time I have. But as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.